Today me and Beep are taking a look at some of the trailers that got us hyped for upcoming PSVR games. Some delivered for goods and took us on wonderful virtual journeys which will forever be in our memories, whilst others deceived, tricked and manipulated us into pre-ordering. So let's take a trip down memory lane and take a look at some of these trailers. This trailer was for a PSVR launch title, and let's face it, Sony needed something like this to pique the interest of gamers, especially when games like this were also lined up. I'm not actually hating on this game, I did quite enjoy it. It feels like you're on a virtual game show. Anyway, Batman Arkham VR was one of the very few launch titles that people were excited for. Who wouldn't want to virtually be Batman, especially in the same universe as Rocksteady's Arkham series? Our first glimpse of this new Dark Knight game was at E3 2016. Bet you feel old now, and it hardly showed anything. Was it annoying? Incredibly. All the trailer showed us was the bat suit, and had the Joker talking over the video.
How do you feel when you put on that mask?
And of course, laughing. But because of the success of the Arkham series, it was enough to make the PSVR a real contender in the VR market. After the reveal trailer, obviously the launch trailer came, and once again, no gameplay was shown.
Does it even matter?
Now I was a bit skeptical, so I waited for reviews before actually buying it, and after watching the reviews, I still bought it anyway, as I couldn't not experience being Batman, especially as I had just had my first taster of what VR felt like. But in the end, I was left feeling disappointed. The Arkham series was still the best way to be for Batman. After Sony constantly ignored the community's demand for new move controllers with analog sticks, the trailer for this game really did come as a shock, as Sony actually listened to what the VR community wanted for once. We also desperately wanted a full game of Robot Rescue from the Playroom VR, and Astrobot was actually coming. The happy music blasts into action, and Astrobot is set loose in the colourful world. And it instantly looked like a high quality Nintendo title. The graphics looked absolutely incredible, and everyone who had played Robot Rescue knew that this game would not disappoint. In fact, it was one of the rare games that I actually felt safe in thinking that it would be an amazing experience from start to finish when it launched. And when it finally did, it far exceeded my expectations. It's certainly a trailer where people say, "Where was you when you first saw it?" Beep! Beep! A full game of Robot Rescue is coming out! Get out, Beep! When Supermassive Games announced The Impatient, it was incredibly exciting times. Rush of Blood had been created by the same team, and still to this very day, it's one of my top PSVR games, and I love returning to the roller coaster when the jump scares have started to fade from my memory. So knowing that we was going to be getting another horror experience from them really did get me hyped. Even more exciting was the fact that this new game was a prequel to Until Dawn, which is another amazing non-VR title. The first trailer emerged at E3 2017, and as a little teaser, it showed just enough to put it on the radar of most gamers, even for ones who didn't currently own a PSVR. This was mainly because of the graphics. They were such a step forward for a VR title, although everyone who has been excited in the past by trailers and then been let down by the graphics when the game has released, did take notice and take into consideration them off-putting words. But as we got closer to release and the launch trailer was set loose online, it became apparent that the developers didn't want to show off too much gameplay, and yeah, that can be fine if you don't want to ruin the storyline, especially for this type of game. But nearly nothing was being shown at all, and most of the trailer was littered with text. Admittedly, a lot of this text was choices, which is what the game is mainly about, but not much else was shown at all. It immediately sent me alarm bells, and the fact that this trailer was only 3 seconds longer than the actual E3 reveal trailer didn't help matters. For a title that Sony was trying to sell headsets with, advertising wise in my eyes, the trailer had failed, and when the game released, it was incredibly obvious why more gameplay hadn't been shown to the public. I had incredibly mixed thoughts after seeing the trailer for this next one. I wanted it to be true. I wanted to believe that what I was seeing would become a reality, but everything that I had learnt about how powerful the PSVR actually was forced me to think that there had to be a catch. Even with this doubt though, the game was still fresh in my mind right up until its release. The Megaton Rainfall trailer took no time at all to reveal that this was a VR Superman game. Sure, it wasn't an actually licensed Superman product, but everyone deep down was thinking, I can be Superman? The sense of speed was incredible, the enemies you was going to fight were massive, and the destruction scene was on such a large scale that it's not even often seen in non-VR games. Nowadays, Megaton Rainfall hardly gets spoken about, mainly because some thought the gameplay wasn't too engaging. I do disagree with that, but you can't look past the fact what the game technically achieved on the PSVR. In the end, the trailer was real, and everyone who played the game finally got to be Superman. Another E3 reveal trailer now. Sony really was pushing for PSVR in 2017, and this was the most talked about VR reveal. Skyrim was coming to the PSVR, and unlike The Impatient, which hardly showed anything, this was titled as a gameplay trailer, and it certainly was just that. They showed off the player attacking a few enemies, skeletons, guards, and spiders, which obviously in my mind suddenly turned Skyrim into a part horror game. But I was quickly distracted by the giants and dragons. Everyone by now had experienced at least one large scale battle in VR, so we knew how massive these enemies would virtually be, which made us even more excited. Deep down I think Bethesda knew that too, because giants and dragons were seen over and over again in the trailer. Once again, I was shocked that this would even run on the PSVR, but I did have faith in Bethesda, although that has died down these days. But I still did have one main concern, and that was loading times. Luckily at launch, I was blown away by how quick they was. Although Skyrim has been re-released over and over again, this is absolutely the definitive way to experience the game, especially as it comes with the DLC. Unless AR comes out which puts the world of Skyrim all around you in the real world, it really doesn't get better than this. Of course, there are many other PSVR game trailers that got us hyped, so what one should me and Beep include in our next list? Let us know what game trailers got you excited in the comments below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more PSVR content like this.